What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Twin Sons Podcast, episode 72. As always, brought to you by RuneterraCCG.com. Today, I want to highlight a deck. It's called Karma Ezreal. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It's a little bit of an old one, but it's coming back pretty strong, and Random 7 has put out a nice deck guide. So if you're interested in that, check that out. As well as the Akshan Sivir deck that's kind of catching fire. There's a deck guide for that as well by Sari. So if you're interested in those two decks, check them out. And do me a favor, don't queue into me when you're playing Karma Ezreal, please, because I don't feel like dealing with that. Today, we have a super awesome guest. We have Sunny. Sunny, welcome to the show. How's it going, man?
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's an honor to be here because I've been following you for a year now, and I'm doing great. It's really great to be here. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am good. I have, we were discussing a little bit beforehand. You've been playing a lot more Runeterra than I have, I think. I've been trying to grind, but League has been taking over a little bit of my life right now.
Yeah, that event is pretty good.
Yes, it's not bad. So, but yeah, doing pretty well in general. I mean, across the board, the event's great. So we'll chat all about it. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I've been following your stuff forever. Your YouTube has recently spiked, but I think I checked the other day, and I think you're up to what, like 14,000 subscribers, and I felt like you just hit 10 like a month ago or something.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was like late May that my channel just exploded. Like I had
Oh yeah,
3 or 4K, and I went up to 10K in
yeah.
like so fast. Like I had to put on my seatbelt because I couldn't keep up anymore. And now it's slowed down a little bit, but yeah, I'm in the last month I think I gained like 4K subs or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I remember just like blinking, and I was like, it was 10K at one point, and all of a sudden I blinked. I was like, oh wait, it's at like 15 or 14 or whatever it is now. I was like, holy crap! I felt like you just posted that. So your stuff's
Yeah.
been blowing up. But I've always enjoyed your stuff. I mean, you have really sweet decks. I just recently highlighted one of your decks on Runeterra CCG as well. So if anyone's listening, check that out. That was the what is that? The evolution.
Yeah, Felios Victor.
Yeah, the Aphelios Victor. What is that? What is the? Why can't I think of the evolution card? What is it called?
Glorious Evolution.
Glorious Evolution, that one, yeah. So that
Yeah.
deck was absolutely mad. You were using Starlit Epiphany in that too, right? I think you had two of
Yeah,
those in there.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so you have a
Just
full.
full memes.
Yeah, oh, it was so glorious. And Victor's like one of my favorite champs in this game, so it spoke right to me. I was like, I need to highlight
I
this.
know. I remember your Starbone. I don't know if it had Starbone, but
Mm,
your messenger deck
yeah,
with Victor, and I've been playing that a lot as well. So
yeah.
there is some overlap with those decks.
Yes, there is, there is. Yeah, that was a really weird time because it was before Starbone came out. So I
Yeah,
was playing it, and then Starbone got released as well with it, and I was like, "This is crazy!" I was like, "This, I just made this deck. I need to play this now." So
it's meant to be. Yeah.
it was super fun. Yeah, I mean, Starbone was nuts. So yeah, I mean, Victor has been my boy forever. But I want to talk to you just to start as just an introduction. We'll talk. We don't have anything super big. I mean, we're just coming off the heels of all of Shurima, the Sentinels of Light event, which is it's bigger than I expected it to be. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, same for sure.
yeah, so we don't have any like huge news to cover, so we'll kind of take some time in the intro, and then we'll go through some body stuff, just talking about really how we feel about this event overall. But as far as I like to just go way back. When did you start gaming? Really, it doesn't even have to be card games; it can be anything.
Oh man, I think I was 6 years old when I got like a Nintendo 64,
Nice.
and Super Mario 64 came with that. And basically ever since, I've been a Nintendo and a Mario fanboy in particular. Like I got a GameCube after that, got the Wii, got like all the Game Boys and stuff, and
Yes.
Mario games have always been my favorite. I remember when the Wii came out, it started having like online functionality,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the games is Mario Kart Wii that I bought, and that I got super into. And like when people ask me about my competitive like backstory, this is like my favorite thing to say. But I played competitive Mario Kart for 4 years. Like this big trophy, like the
I didn't know
listeners
that's
can't
a
see it, but I have
thing.
like a big trophy that I won at like a
Oh, the
national
Leaf
tournament.
Cup. Yeah, is that the Leaf
Yeah,
Cup?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I won that at a Dutch like Mario Kart tournament.
That's insane.
Um,
Which Mario Kart was it? Double Dash? Was that or is that with
Wii
the?
for the Wii.
Oh, just Mario Kart Wii. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
Double Dash
that's
came
the
out
one.
for one of them. That's
That was
nuts.
GameCube. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't
I
even know
played
they
that for
had
4 years.
competitive Mario Kart. That's crazy.
It was like a pretty like tight community. I want to say it was kind of
Yeah.
hard to get into because like the people that played, they played 24 hours a day.
Right.
It was insane. Like the competition, it was actually pretty fierce. There were like hosted. Like, there was no support from Nintendo. Obviously, it's not like you have Clash in League clients and stuff. You have the tournaments hosted in Runeterra.
Yeah.
It was nothing like that. You had to do everything yourself. But some people they made a website for it and like hosted everything. And yeah, I played it for 4 years, got
Wow.
pretty obsessed with it, and then eventually moved on because I had like a team. Some of my friends moved on to to League of Legends,
Oh,
and
nice.
then we stayed friends because of that.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So two follow up questions. I guess the first is what's your favorite Mario game then? If you're not counting Mario Kart, like actual.
Paper Mario.
Okay, solid. See, I was gonna guess Sunshine because Sunny, but maybe it's too on the
It's pretty
nose.
close.
Sunshine.
Like I know it's controversial. It's probably one of my favorite 3D Marios. So
Yeah, it was.
I know a lot of people. Yeah,
I know it went kind of hit or miss, but I freaking loved Sunshine, dude. So good. All right, so then
me too. Yeah.
how did this get to kart games then, from Mario Kart?
While I played League of Legends,
Yeah.
I also kind of got into World of Warcraft, and I remember one in this
Oh wow.
mount that you could get by playing Hearthstone, and that's like basically the first time I ever really got into a card game. I played some Yu-Gi-Oh with my friends,
Yeah.
but we were all Dutch, so our English was terrible. We didn't
Hmm.
play according to the rules at all. It was like I still don't know the Yu-Gi-Oh rules really, but it was like
Yeah.
turn one, Blue Eyes White Dragon, stuff like that.
Right.
Didn't matter. But Hearthstone, I got super obsessed with. It was just something about virtual card games and
Yeah.
bending all the rules and like creating cards. It blew my mind at the time, and I've played Hearthstone for a long time after that.
Yeah.
I also played some Duelist,
Nice. Nice.
and well, because I played League of Legends during all that time when Runeterra got announced, I was super excited for that and dropped Hearthstone in a heartbeat because my wallet was pretty happy about that too.
Yeah.
And yeah, here I am now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so when you were into Hearthstone that hard, were you competing at all, or were you just making content, or what were you doing for her? Just playing, just
Just for
enjoying the
fun,
game. Yeah,
just casual. Yep.
and they still got your wallet too. I see it's Hearthstone Savage.
Yeah, I did hit Legend a few times, but
Nice.
I mean, I still played like Budget Hunter and stuff, so it didn't really matter.
That's
But
good.
yeah.
So I like to ask this for everybody. I think you said it there, but you heard about lore just because you were hooked into League, and then you just heard it at Riot 10. Is that how? So right from the get go?
Yeah, I think so. I remember that 10-year anniversary thing they have. I think it was there where they announced
Yeah.
like a bunch of games, and one of them was Runeterra.
Yep.
And well, when I saw it, I knew it. Like I love the League and Riot
Yeah.
Runeterra universe. So I knew that when my favorite characters were coming to a card game, I would make the switch instantly. It didn't even matter if it was going to be a bad game, but I mean, Riot, they don't really deliver like, subpar products. So I knew
Yeah.
it was going to be good.
All right. So at that point, so when you were playing League, now were you playing League competitively at that point, or were you just more? You said like your team kind of switched over from Mario Kart. Was that a competitive team or just kind of for fun still?
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds pretty arrogant, but we were the top team in Mario Kart, and I know it was like a community with maybe 5,000 people,
Yeah.
but a team of five people, like, I mean, a team had like 20,
Oh, okay.
20 team members or something, and then you'd have like the best five competing at the highest level.
Oh.
So me and some friends were one of those, and then like I had some friends from Denmark. They actually came to the Netherlands at one point too, just to like play Mario Kart for a week. But we all switched to League of Legends, and because we were good at Mario Kart and had like that competitive drive, we all got pretty good at League of Legends too.
Yeah.
Eventually, me and one other person were picked up by a challenger team, and we played some amateur tournaments.
Oh, nice.
So I did play at a pretty high level, but that was like 2014, 15,
Yeah.
and then after that I had school and stuff, so I'm washed up now.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it was a fun time.
Hey, I mean, not a lot of people can even say they're washed up, so that's something. So we can, we'll diverge into Runeterra for a second, and then we'll come back to League in a little bit, because yeah, like we were talking about before, there is this event that's actually insane. So when you said you dropped Hearthstone pretty much essentially like right away as soon as you saw lore. For me, I think I was already clean of Hearthstone. That's like a really weird way to put it, but I was off of her. That's also a weird way to put it. Wasn't playing Hearthstone for like 2 to 3 years at this point, and I
I
saw
wasn't injecting Hearthstone anymore.
right. I was fully sober. Wasn't doing that for like 2 to 3 years at this point, and League came out, and I was like, "Yep, I'm back into digital card games." I had a question about how quick did you like drop Hearthstone? Did you literally drop Hearthstone for League, like Runeterra, or was there a downtime?
Mm, I remember Runeterra had this beta season kind of
Yeah, yeah, the closed
where
betas.
yeah, before Buildswater, I played during that time, but I also played Hearthstone during that time.
Okay,
But when Buildswater got released, I dropped it instantly. When Buildswater got released, I got so hooked on Runeterra.
yeah,
Buildswater is also my favorite region in League before that. Like all my favorite champions are from there. So when they got like those cinematics and all those new cards with my favorite
yeah.
characters, and I love that whole theme with the pirates and like
Oh
these
yeah.
wacky characters, it was an instant hit for me. So at that moment, I dropped Hearthstone pretty much instantly. And never like I could have uninstalled it and it would have made no difference because I just never clicked the game again.
Right. That's great to hear. I love that. So when did the content come into play then? You said you didn't make any content for Hearthstone itself. So is lore, I guess, two-part question. When did you start making content for lore, and also is this your first content creation journey?
Um, I made some content for Mario Kart and League of Legends, but there was no passion in it. I like
Right.
no thumbnails. It was just like the gameplay shot there, and I had like 300 subscribers or something. So some people watched, I guess, like mostly from Mario Kart days. But when I hit Master in Runeterra, I knew I wanted to do more because I loved the game so much. And
Right.
it was the same for Mario Kart because I played Mario Kart Wii, and then eventually, new Mario Karts came out. And after Mario Kart Wii, you had Mario Kart 8, I think.
Yeah.
And a lot of the community didn't move over to that game, but me and some friends did. It just wasn't the same thing. So at that point, I also tried to like go that extra step to make
Yeah.
sure the game got the love it deserved. Runeterra, I feel like it was a hit, but I feel like it could be bigger. It deserved to be bigger than Hearthstone, in my opinion. It's
Right.
like, well, I'm just gonna create content, see where this takes me, and I'm just gonna show my love for this game. Hopefully, some people pick up
Yeah.
that love that I'm showing towards this game, and they'll give it a try as well. And it was something that I just really enjoy doing. I like editing, I like streaming.
Yeah.
I had never had the intention of becoming big or anything. I'm not saying I'm big now. I mean, I grew a lot, I
Yeah. For
guess,
sure. For sure.
but it was never my intention. And I just do what I love, and that's
Yeah.
how the content creation just kept me going, kind of. And I kept editing videos and turning on Twitch.
Yeah. So you just kind of did those simultaneously. That was actually a follow up for. So you
Yeah,
streamed and YouTubed at the same time.
yeah, yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I mean, like you said, the love is definitely there. You see it. I mean, you're grinding out so many games, and also like some of the most unique decks that are super fun to watch. So that's where my heart is. I love seeing just crazy ideas, and it's just so good to see, so refreshing. So I guess that kind of leads into like what has been your like go to. It could be a champion, it could be an archetype, but you've played every style in the game. I can't really even pinpoint what I would think would be your go to. Do you think you have one?
yeah. I definitely have a favorite deck. It's Zoe Victor
Sorry, Victor. Okay.
because I love card generation.
Yeah.
In Hearthstone, I'm sorry for bringing that game up all the time, but I think they went over the top with it. But I love
They
high
did.
variety. Yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah.
I haven't played in a year, but I still read complaints about it. But I love high variety games.
Yeah.
I don't like it when every game plays out the same way. I started with Scouts. Scouts used to be my favorite deck because I just really enjoyed Misfortune as a card and Genevieve.
Yep.
But most of the games kind of played similarly.
Right. That's
You
the
always
first thing
had
that
like that
popped into
same
my
win
head.
con.
I was like, yeah, you're essentially going to be playing like Bannerman Scouts. I mean, even before Scouts Bannerman, at least Scouts added some nuance of like, all right, I have to plan these attack turns slightly better than Scouts. 'Cause Scouts was just, I'm just gonna, or Bannerman was just, play Bannerman. Have
Yeah,
big
exactly.
things.
Just curve out and say
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and I recently went back and I was like, man, I can't play this anymore. I need something else. I need more variety, like you're saying. And yeah, exactly. That's the deck in this game that gives you by far the most. I mean, really, and you can play
Yeah.
it like 10 different ways too. There's so many different iterations of Zoe Victor that you could go
Yeah,
all in
exactly.
on.
You really don't get punished for like adding one-offs and stuff
Right.
as nearly as much as with other decks. And for that reason, I just really I like the flexible deck building.
Yeah.
I love having games that play out differently every single time.
Hmm.
Having those different win cons, like you have the Celestials. I've won plenty of games against Draven Ezreal by just using iterative improvement on their Pharaon. And those
Right.
moments just make me feel really good.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep coming back to that deck.
All right. So, what is your last like intro style question here? Do you have like a favorite memory so far? As far as it could be on the content creation side, but it could also just be in the game itself.
Yeah, I think for me it was the release of Bilgewater. I already talked about that a little bit, but
Right there.
that's really when I got hooked on the game, and that's when I started content creation. I remember hitting Master for the first time with Ash Sejuani
Yeah.
when Misfortune Nab was a big thing, and I would get really upset at them taking the Yetis off the top of my deck when Nab still stole from the top and not the bottom.
Brutal.
My Omen Hawks, yeah, I still cry about that at night. But I somehow hit Master, and I just, like, I knew that I was pretty good at the game, so I wanted to stream it.
Yeah.
And just getting in touch with people that play the game too and just having those small moments of interaction, they
Yeah.
really kept me going and they just made the game that much better because I think Runeterra has an amazing community.
Yeah, no doubt. It's so funny you say that. I remember crying on this podcast back then, just being like, why does it take from the top of the deck? Like, I can't even play. Like, they buffed the Avaros and Trapper, and then they
Yeah.
put Nab out at, like, the same time. And you're like, I can't even play the freaking Yeti, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, well, here's my Omenok, so you get some +1/+1 buffs. It's like,
Exactly, exactly. That
yeah,
that season was incredible. I remember like that was probably when I was the most like into it. I was just like I think I hit masters like first week or second week, which I don't do at all. I don't even try to do. I like to take my time, but I was just like I am so into this, and
Yeah.
I did it with like Radiant Guardian kegs. Like I forgot like random keg Demacia nonsense that was like hilarious. But it was just because Twisted Fate was like busted and did everything at that point.
Yeah.
So it was like that style deck, and it was just so like oh man, Bilge, which makes me extremely excited for whatever this next region is because apparently Alex, who designed Bilgewater, is the lead designer on the upcoming set. So
Oh, okay.
makes me a bit excited at least. I mean, because I feel like Bilgewater really hit like all the marks I was looking for in a game. Maybe
I
I'm being
agree.
nostalgic, but it felt like that at least.
Yeah, maybe I'm being nostalgic too, but I feel the exact same way. I
Yeah,
think as far as region identity goes, I think they absolutely nailed Bilgewater with like the random incidental damage, some of that card draw that like even having a card master in a card game and
yeah,
just making Twisted Fate like that, it just feels perfect. So I'm just impressed.
yeah. Love it. And they still got plenty of Bilge characters to come out, so we'll get more. We got to get Graves at some point. I mean, he's been in like three of the cinematics. Like
Yeah, he's got to be the next one.
he's got
I mean,
there's
what do we have left? Like Graves and Alawi?
yeah,
Or am I missing one?
Alawi's probably the other big one. I would say I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. Yeah, and Alawi's
Maybe.
coming out in their game too, their Ruined King game. So I don't know. Maybe they'll favor her, but they're
Yeah, true.
both sweet. But I mean, Graves has been in the thing, so I don't know. We gotta get
Yeah, we'll
somebody.
see.
I will throw one more intro question in here because this is like the hot topic question now. Like we're just getting into like it's been a hot topic question for like 4 months realistically, but now it like really matters. What is your guess on the next region? Do you have one?
Vandal City.
All right. See, someone wrote an article. I forget. I shouted it out in the one cast, but someone wrote an article and they broke it all down. All these things. It's their big theory, and they said Vandal City too.
Yeah, that's why I think it's Vandal City,
Is
to be
there?
honest. I mean, to be honest, I guessed before Malphite came out that it was going to be Ishtal,
Mm-hmm.
but with Malphite going to Targon, I think there's no way.
And
I
then
think there's not enough
Rek'Sai went to
champions.
Shurima too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so Void gets effed up right there.
Yep. It's just process of elimination, and
Yep.
I think Vandal City does make the most sense at this point. It's kind of weird with Lulu being in Ionia and Teemo and
Yeah.
Heimerdinger being in Piltover, but
Like
still.
every region's a little messed up already, so I don't I don't know what's gonna happen now. So we'll be
True.
talking about that, I'm sure, as we get closer to that. I mean, realistically, I feel like we're flying through it, but like, I mean, it should be not that far.
It's like a
away.
month?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a month. It's like
Yeah.
less than a month probably before we get like the first teaser. So yeah.
Yeah, because this season, I mean, it's been weird. So far we had, we can take a step back as well. We had Pike, Rek'Sai, and Echo get released. I know you're a Bilgewater fan. Have you been enjoying Lurk at all yourself?
I love it,
Love
but I
it,
don't
yeah.
get to play as much because I feel like they're pretty tied to Lurk, so you can't really experiment with them elsewhere.
Yeah.
At first, before they or when we got that cinematic where you saw like Rek'Sai, Pike, and Echo, I was really praying for Pike to be like that flexible build sweater champion
Yeah.
to kind of bring the region back to its glory days. But with the buff to Make It Rain, with Slotbot,
Yeah.
with even the Black Market Merchant, I think I'm happy. I don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I was kind of hoping that as well, and I remember I think Mogwai was just tweeting about it today too, and it does hurt. Like I don't they don't speak to me a whole lot. The champions that are just like here they're paired together like this, they
Yeah.
hurt me because I'm like I'll play the deck a couple times, and unless it's like my all time favorite deck, I'm not gonna like play it much more than that. So I'm with you there. I just want to experiment more, but I mean
Yeah.
it is pretty sweet deck. I mean it does what it does, and it's at least it was competitive like right away too, so it didn't just fall flat,
Yeah.
which is good.
Exactly. I'm happy it exists. I'm sad that my favorite champion of all time is tied to one archetype,
Oh, the Pike's your
but
favorite of all
still,
time?
yeah, Pike and Fiddlesticks.
Solid too. All right, so we can jump over real quick. So you're bringing up Pike, so we got to talk about League for a second. So you played League forever. Right now they're having an event. We were talking before. I mean, I'm playing a lot of League. I bought the bat. This is the first time I've spent money on League ever in like 11 years. I lied. I remember telling the story. I literally bought League of Legends at Target, like the box.
Really?
Yes, like in 2011, they sold like a box, and I don't know what their plan was originally. If it was just like a download of the game or whatever, it just came with like 15 champions and some skins and stuff. Is what it
Do you have
ended up
like
doing.
the ultra rare skin, like
Yeah, I don't know which one is it.
the Black Alistar and the Human Rise or something? It is,
No,
I think.
I might. It came with a Rise skin. I don't remember if it's like the ultra rare ones or not. I have no idea.
If it's human rise, your account might just be like a little gold mine.
Oh
So
gosh, I gotta Google it now.
yeah, seriously.
If you're looking to buy a League account, you can go on eBay after this. I'll have to
Ooh,
check.
don't promote that black market, but
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Okay, we're not buying anything. Yeah, I literally that's like the first time I spent money on League. I remember like I went with my older brother and I bought the box and I was like I don't even know like
Mhm.
I knew what it was. It was made by the people who made Dota and I was like all right sweet I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah.
But now this event is so good to me that I jumped back in for this. So were you playing consistently or did you jump back in for the event as well?
I've been playing more than I used to, but it's
Yeah,
been pretty on and off. Ever since Runeterra, I've been not really playing any League,
yeah.
really. Like maybe like a few matches in a week. But now with this event, I've definitely been playing a lot more.
So
And the game still frustrates me to no end, but at least the event is fun.
I still hate the game, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see? So I don't know if you've been paying attention trying to get the event token stuff. Did you see the update they're coming out with? How they're adding? So, this is a little off topic, guys, but I'm assuming there's at least a few listeners here who play League of Legends. So
hmm
in that event, unlike in Runeterra's event, which is pretty smooth, you get Runeterra XP pass for the event pass pretty easily. I mean, I'm not really even trying to do any quests, and it's happening pretty naturally, and I'm not even playing that much. But in League, it's very specific. Like you're unlocking these Sentinel champions, and you have to do these quests to get more points. But they screwed the math up so bad that it's like impossible to actually finish. Like you finish the first three regions, and like the fourth one like quadruples in points, and it's like insane. So they're adding a new mission, repeatable, unlimitedly, where you get
Yeah.
600 progress points every game. Counts for TFT, so I'm just gonna be playing on my phone while I'm at work or something. Get all these progress tokens. But yeah, that was just a weird thing that they did for that. So if you are curious about the League event, it'll be a lot more accomplishable because it's actually a really good story. You said you're pretty into the lore as well for League.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have like these, so it's like these regions with like one character from each region or something, and like as you unlock experience by playing games, you get like their little story updates, right? And then you get like some tokens that you can buy stuff with.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's really weird that okay, so what I think is awesome about Sentinels is that it's all canon. That's
Yeah,
kind of like a big selling point for me because last year when they experimented with having an event that goes over like multiple games, it was
right.
the Spirit Blossom,
Yeah,
and I thought that was really well done. I think it was very successful for Riot as well, so
yeah,
they decided to do it again. And the fact it's now canon with like stories that actually happen in the universe,
yeah.
I think is incredible. But the fact that these little stories are so gated behind playing and then getting like no experience for it was a little strange. So I'm glad that they're actually giving the experience the extra
Yeah,
experience so you can actually read all the stories and know what's happening in the
exactly. Yeah.
world of League.
It's like cool that it's in the client, but at the same time, it's like there's like a graphic novel for it as well, or maybe it's a graphic novel or something. There's like two other sources of the material, and they're like the one is like the true perfect canon of what it is, and like the in game is pretty close, and like they're going off that, but they want you to experience it as you're in the
Um,
game. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, like you said, it was like gated behind so much. Like how many matches do I have to play and you have to like dominate too. Like we're like either
yeah,
if we surrender at 15 or if they surrender at 20 or whatever, we get like no points for it. So it was pretty
yeah.
brutal.
No bedtime story if the enemy team surrenders.
Yes, nothing. You get nothing for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you brought up. I mean, Spirit Blossom was really the first one that they did, and that was kind of like you said, not canon. And they released some like shared skins, some shared cosmetics. But this one, they went all out. You said it's a canon story. They're releasing, actions in League or Runeterra before he's even in League. So like they went all out to really combine
Yeah.
everything together. Has that spoken to you as somebody who's playing League at the same time as lore?
Yeah, definitely. I don't really care that much that Akshan is in League and TFT, or I mean in Runeterra and TFT before League.
Yeah,
But I think it's cool. I think it's really cool that they made a champion for this event, basically.
yeah,
And the fact that they're including Runeterra in the story too, with like Viego and Akshan coming at the same time. I think it's great for like world building and everything. I think it's a real shame that Corona or COVID
hmm
has like delayed Rune King because I'm pretty sure that was supposed to happen before Sentinels of Light.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's a shame, but I still think it's super cool that we get Akshan and we get to experiment with him, and they're including the card gamers among the League players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was funny. We were originally talking about Josh and I on the cast a long time ago. And we're like, yeah, they're definitely going to do something with the release of Ruin King at the same time. And then, yeah, I think it seems like it was just COVID. Uh, you know,
Yeah,
sad times for them pushing it back, but I'm still super pumped for that game too. I mean, it's in your
Yeah, me
favorite
too.
region, so yeah, you're gonna be playing it.
I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
be
be
streaming it.
Pike's in there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Pike's in,
he's
yeah, I
part of
know
the
Alawi
cast.
Pike and Yasuo Ari. There's a lot of
Ari.
champs that aren't
Yeah.
in the game actually, right?
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah,
weird. I was before when I mean the Ruined King teaser was in like December or something. So I was
yeah,
like, well,
right.
obviously the new region, they're gonna have like Ari as a new Ionia champion,
Yep.
but no, we got Blade Dance. So
And
I
then
think
just
I preferred Ari,
right,
but
right. Dude, it's having a resurgence right now too. Blade dance is I don't know what's
oh
going. It's
god.
everywhere right now.
Yeah, you said something about wanting to talk about the meta and stuff, and I got a thing or two to say about Ionia, but yeah, it's a real shame
What
that
about
it's
it?
making a bit of a comeback. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll jump into that and really just meta talk, kind of how the event's going so far. Talk about if Viego and Action have kind of landed on their feet or not, because I haven't been playing nearly as much. I've been playing, still a decent amount, still progressing my pass and all. But I've seen them both kind of equally right now. I can't really get a footing on which one I think is like really more successful because they both seem like they're doing decent. I guess
Yeah.
start with that. I guess do you feel like one of those is kind of ahead of the other one or no?
Yeah, I think Akshan is ahead. But I think the fact that Shadow Owls is for a big part of control region, and they've
Yeah,
never had a control champion, and I think they do now
yeah.
with Viego. So for that reason alone, I think Viego is going to be super successful
Hmm.
for Shadow Owl in like the foreseeable future. I
Yeah.
think it's also Viego is pretty balanced. I think his level up should probably be a little higher because some games you feel like you're really far ahead, and then like, oh wait, Viego level because his mists are already like 8/8s or something.
Right.
I think that could be a bit problematic. It's basically like the Aurelion Soul when Targon got released, who got pushed to 25. I think Viego, I mean, could be controversial because the meta is still kind of like shaping up. I think eventually he should go to 25 or 30. But Akshan, I think, is super
Hmm.
balanced. Just kind of a shame that he's played in Lee Syndex. So he frustrates me more than I actually like seeing him. But
Yeah.
I think Akshan is fantastic. He's so versatile, flexible, and he really
Yeah. He
ties
is.
like a lot of these random pieces from Shurima together, which I'm very happy about.
He does. Yeah. I mean, I stirred up some nonsense on Twitter with Lee Sin over the past 2 days that I feel awful about. I guess now, but um,
Oh, do
yeah,
you? Why?
dude, it's a hot topic. There's a camp
Hmm.
that's like you're bad at this game, Lee Sin's fine, and then there's the other camp that's like I want to uninstall Runeterra every time I get OTK'd for 20 through my Nexus with a spell shield, and I'm like I understand that because it is
Hmm.
extremely frustrating. And the scary part to me is that like right now Lee Sin and Targon might slightly be better than Akshan Lee Sin. We were just talking about it in our Discord before it came on.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it also could just be that that's more refined. And this Shurima version is going to get more refined over the next couple weeks. And it could be better. Akshan Lee Sin could be a better version of Lee Sin than Targon. Possibly. Who knows? But
Yeah. Hmm.
both are infuriating. you know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it even matter. Like a lot of people are talking. Well, yeah, like you said, like you're just bad or the deck isn't actually that good. I don't think it matters. I hate dying from 20 HP on turn 7 and 8.
Right.
It's as simple as that. It could be the worst card in the game.
Yeah.
If one in every 10 times I die at 20 HP, I'm hating it. I don't like a card like that.
Yeah.
I'm super anti-combo decks. I have always been. And Lee Sin infuriates me because Ionia as a region is just like, oh, let me just attack with my units. Concussive Palm. All right, try again. I finally managed to pull your unit. Well, buff Twin Discipline.
Yeah.
All right, here we go again. Will of Ionia. Homecoming. It just keeps going.
It does.
It's like, oh, and not to forget about that wall of Dragon Links. Like,
Yep.
come on, man. I just want to play the game.
I'd like to play the game at some point. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was tweeting out a picture, I think today or yesterday, of, yeah, just Lee Sin on turn 7, casually attacking for 14 attack, 10 health, spell shield barrier. Yeah, he used his mana. He had no mana. But I'm like,
Yeah.
what do I need to answer this first? Like, not every deck can answer this, which is fine. Okay, not every deck can answer this. But then people are like, oh, you should have just killed Auction. I'm like, bro, I put in 2 Merciless Hunters on 2 different auctions. Like, I am trying to kill this man. But
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
like you
Like,
said, I mean, what is it? Twin Disciplines or Twin Disciple, whatever it is. Twin Discipline, yeah.
yeah.
Plus 3 health for 2 mana. And he's fine. Oh, yeah, you pulled him with vulnerable, concussive palm, your thing. Like,
Yep.
it's not just like, oh yeah, just kill the guy. It's
No.
they run Notify, they
Yeah,
run
well,
Deny.
exactly. It's like, well, if combat doesn't work, let me try throwing some spells at them. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. If I deny, it's oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, and like I get it. His win rate isn't like the highest thing. I just think it's a pretty big concern going forward. I think over the next couple weeks, I think it's going to need to get addressed at some point. It's
Yeah.
like you said, it's just really you can
It's
compare
frustrating.
yeah, you can compare it to like a negative play experience where it's just like, all right, I mean, no one wants to get OTK'd from 20. And I get there's so many people out there that want to play combo decks, and I understand. Like combo decks are they're
Yeah.
not my cup of tea either. I don't prefer to play. I never played combo
Oh, they should
rogue.
exist. But
But yeah, they should exist, right? I don't want to take it fully away. I think it just needs to be tuned down a little bit. Possibly I'd like to get OTK'd on turn like 9 or 10 instead of 7 or 8 consistently.
yeah. Like God, Lee Sin makes me wish Watcher was back in the meta. That's like no, okay, that's not true actually, but yeah, at least that was turn 8, right?
Right. At least I had one more turn to hate myself. Yeah,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued with your statement about Viego because I hadn't really thought of it that way, but he really is. He's this weird champ, but he is more. He's favoring this control playstyle, and Shadow
Mhm.
Isles is like the control region next to Ionia, and he's the first of his breed there.
Yep.
Have you seen Cephalopod's version with Ionia? I mean, it's
Yeah.
comparing
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that I haven't given that any runs, but that seemed like where I thought it might start going if he really gets to the control-y aspect. I'm not sure. Where do you think he's going to end up if it's going to be like full-blown control?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I think the Ionia version feels like the closest one. It's
Yeah.
actually a funny story because I was streaming today and I played against Shermie, Mogwai's girlfriend,
Oh, nice.
and I had a match against her and like it was super close. So after the match, I decided to raid her, and then right after she queues into Mogwai, who was playing Viego Ionia, and it the Scourge with
Yeah.
the mark. I think the Mark of Death. I think that's what the name of the card is, where they transfer ephemeral to another unit.
Yeah.
I think that's so strong in that deck.
It
I think
is.
it's insane, and I think just that having that early game like stabilization tool, and then eventually just going over the top with Viego
Yeah.
is probably like so far what I've seen the strongest thing that deck does.
Yeah.
Because all other versions feels like they're just like kind of playing like stalling tools with either Freljord and like some freezes, and then just Viego as like hopefully something the opponent can deal with,
Yep.
or the Shurima, which I feel like is being played just because Shurima has like these really solid tools like Merciless Hunter, right? But it doesn't feel like he really belongs there to me. So I think Ionia so far seems really solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing all jank with Viego. I've been playing just absolute nonsense. I mean, we'll start it with just dragons because I'm like, all right, it seems like
Mhm.
an okay pairing. I love the Camavorian dragon who pings the Nexus because like Neverglade,
yeah.
Collector, and Prankster are like my favorite cards in the game. So I love
Okay.
that feel of pinging the Nexus was really fun, but it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel like a good deck. And then I played a control version with Ash. I was trying to make like Thresh Ash, but just Viego Ash and just kind of freezing everybody and
Okay.
doing all those shenanigans. Also, meh. Like it just feels like it could have better control tools. Like the freezes are great to stay alive, but it does feel like I need something else going there. And then yeah, I don't know where else he might end. A lot of people were thinking kind of like mid rangey, like just have a lot of
Yeah.
power, but I don't know if it's gonna pan out that way for him.
My first thought was Demacia too. I thought
Yeah.
Shyvana and Viego actually made a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
I think the deck still feels pretty good, but as as the meta progresses and Viego sees more experimentation, I really think that he's gonna end up with a control shell.
Yeah.
Just for that fact that Shadow Isle is played as the primary control region,
Yeah.
and they now have a control champion, and that's just even if he is okay at mid range and could be viable in those decks, I still think that every time Shadow Isles has like a control deck, that Viego is going to be an option.
Yeah. Yeah, and, one of the surprising things is actually that the Snap Vine, the Hydra Vine, is actually
Yeah.
like better than I thought it was going to be significantly.
Yeah, same.
I was like, all right, like Civilization saying in chat, Callista feels like she should be good with Viego, and that's kind of where my head was at first. I was like, yeah, like Mist Wraiths, Callista, just kind of bang out this mid range, use the Camavorian Soldier, but kind of ignore that 7-drop. But like in reality, you kind of just like Shadow Isles lean into that control, and then the Hydra Vine's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that also stems from Callista just not being very good. But
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
This variation after the 15 reworks.
yeah,
Poor Callista.
Callista 0.5 or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know I don't keep track anymore, but yeah.
Yeah.
She's like the Rise of League of Legends, where Rise got reworked like 10 times.
Yeah.
We have Callista and Runeterra for that.
Yeah, we give it all to her. So Auction on the other side of things, really, he kind of hit the ground running a bit. I mean, he's pretty spicy in Lee Sin right off the bat.
Yeah.
He's seeing some play in that Zed Sivir deck. He's not really a 3 of, I don't think, in that deck consistently. I think he's more floating in the 1 or 2 of spot, and then they're using the other champs a
Yeah.
little bit more. But Yeah, I mean his package seems pretty good. I haven't even. I was waiting until I unlock like the free version to craft my other two. I don't know why. I don't. I have like unlimited resources. I play this game too much. But I was like, I'll try to be proactive for once. So now I just
Hmm.
unlocked him. So I've played a couple games with him. But I think what I'm gonna do now is just take that Lee Sin deck and just like run it like 15 times. And just be like,
Hmm.
all right, do I actually hate this deck? Like, do I actually think it's? I'm gonna become what I hate. I'm gonna try to, and be like, is
Yeah,
this
okay.
deck actually busted? Am I just
Hmm.
terrible at the game? And figure it out finally. Where do you think he's
Yeah.
gonna land? Do you think I mean, he feels like a combo-y type piece.
Difficult. As long as Lee Sin stays the way he is, I think he's just going to be played with Lee Sin for that absurd like
Yeah,
Absolver combo.
Absolver is so good.
Yeah, it's even better than I thought it was gonna be. Especially with like Talia and Malphite decks too. Really feel like that was one of the missing pieces for that deck.
Very true.
The
And
thing that he like has some synergy with landmarks and Shapestone being one of the best cards in Shurima, the fact that he enables it instantly, like you skip turn one, you play Akshan turn two. If you're attacking, you have access to that +3 attack.
yeah,
He can't die. It's like not even to a Mystic Shot or something. Um,
yeah,
so the fact that he ties that self-targeting together and the landmarks, I think he's just going to remain a flexible champion until there's like a deck that's like, well, I don't really care what my second
yeah,
champion is. I'm just gonna play Akshan because he does so many things at once, and it kind of helps when I give like my champions a spell shield or eventually like draw two cards and reduce my hand by one for some tempo.
yeah.
I don't see like a real deck that you can call an Akshan deck,
That's fair.
but a lot of champions have that issue, I guess. Like I haven't seen a single like Draven deck because it just goes everywhere.
Yep.
It's just a good card, but you can't call it a Draven deck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, nothing really built around him. Yeah, it's interesting. I went on the route of like, all right, you know what, I'll go with the one that they're kind of pushing a little bit, which seemed like Riven and Auction, because they put out the Minotaurs, and they both have really good effects with Reforge and
Yeah,
targeting. So I went that route, and I'm like, dude, Ionia's just 1,000 times better in every way
yeah.
than this. I can't combat. I can't do any combat tricks compared to what they're doing. I mean, I have like Whirling Death, great, but like I just can't keep up with anything. I don't have any good survivability. Like I have some funny little tricks with the Midnight Raid from the Minotaur. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just, and that's kind of what scares me is that like, yeah, Auction's got some cool stuff, but is he just going? If Lee Sin remains, it's probably just that deck is his best variation for a while.
That's actually really interesting because, to be honest, that does make sense. A Riven Akshan deck, that feels like it's what was intended. And
Right.
I just completely forgot about it because he just played in like Sivir decks because Sivir's so good and Lee Sin decks because Lee
Yeah.
Sin's decks is so good. It's kind of a shame.
Yeah, it's a little sad because it's like would have given Riven a little bit of spotlight. Give her some time. She hasn't really seen a whole lot of play. Would have been nice to have her deck. And I like the Lee Sin thing. Yeah, like Lee Sin, people will agree and disagree. I'm on that version of me kind of being annoyed by that. But the Sivir thing is kind of like I'm okay with Sivir having a good deck now, like a really good deck. She's been like right there the whole time, and then they kind of gave her
Yeah.
like a huge buff. Like -5 to her level up condition is like a turn
Yeah.
early. Like that buff is
Yep.
massive. So I'm cool
Yep.
with her having like I like that deck. It's very similar. I think it's just like all right, at least give her. She's got some time to shine now. I've already seen Lee Sin do his nonsense. Get it out of here.
We've had that Lee Sin meta before. I don't want it back with the 3 mana Bastion, Lee Sin at 4 mana.
Yes.
Oh man, the fact that that deck happened right as like Targon was getting better as a region, I guess, and then
Yeah.
everybody. I feel like that's part of the reason why everybody started hating Targon.
Yeah.
That's I don't know how often you like I don't know what the setup really is here, but what do you feel about that Targon versus Ionia debate? Because a lot of people were hating on Targon, and a lot of people were hating on Ionia, but Ionia hasn't been very good for a long time. How do you feel now that Ionia is very good again and
Yeah.
Targon not so much? Like
I see. I
I don't know what to think about that.
I know it's really tough because I do think like Targon gets this like absolute hate that I don't feel like it fully deserves all the time. Like they've had some
Yeah,
crazy nonsense happen. I do
yeah,
understand. Like
hmm,
Hush was bonkers when it popped. The
yeah,
Bastion buff was insane. Like the first one when they +1/+1 and 3 costs or whatever. It's just like all right, this card's bonkers. But like to me, like you said, one of your favorite decks is Victor Zoe, so we're very similar in that because I love Victor. I love the Celestial package. I've paired those a lot
hmm,
together, and I don't think the Invoke package was that gangbusters bonkers. I think it was really fun to play with that flexibility. And yeah, like should Equinox have gotten nerfed a while ago or the Serpent? Sure, like there's some decent nerfs that could have happened, but I think they happened late, and then people just kept hating on Targon, and I don't know. I don't think it's warranted nearly as much. Whereas whenever, to me at least, this is super opinion based. Whenever Ionia has been dominant, it's been a lot less fun for me. But when Targon was
Agree.
dominant, it was like, okay, you know, it's not as feels bad.
Yeah, I agree. I love Targon. It's my second favorite region. I can't pass up Bilgewater. It's
Yeah,
it's from League, but Targon, I feel like their biggest problems were the chain hush, like you said, and I think the Aphelios meta. I think that
yeah,
really just their whole reputation has been terrible because of that.
yep,
And I agree because you couldn't kill them. But I still feel so much worse because what Targon does is they hush you and
yep.
they heal themselves to stay alive. Ionia does so much more than hushing. It's like the unit like with hush the unit stays. With Will of Ionia concussive palm, like they summon a unit and your unit goes back, like you can't even use it
Yeah,
anymore. I mean, I get the hate. Like Targon was pretty annoying to face,
for
and
sure.
I agree that the Serpent nerf was necessary. I think that was very good. I think even the Star Shaping nerf was fair to 4,
Dude,
but
I
I
was
think the
saying that
Fangs,
the first week of Targon, I was like, Star Shaping cannot heal for 5, or it has to cost 6
yeah,
or something. And it took
hmm
forever. But I agree. But like, if these little nerfs, like you said, were made earlier, I think it would have solved,
yeah,
besides the Aphelios issue. You're
yeah,
right. I
yeah,
forgot to mention that. That's Aphelios and TF were miserable. So I
yeah. That
accept
was not okay.
that. Was not.
Yeah, but I mean, I have some bias towards Targon, so it's hard for me to discuss because I can see why it frustrates people, like
Yeah.
especially as aggro players. Like, I
Yeah.
never cared about aggro metas because I like playing Targon. I don't know if that's the same for like Ionia fans, but
Yep.
yeah, just the fact that they're now not very good and Ionia's back in the meta, it feels like there's always this one region that does just so many passive, really annoying things
Yep.
that it's hard. Like it's super like there's one camp that loves it, one camp that hates it,
Yeah.
and it's hard to have two of those regions like exist at the same time. So I guess it's good that Targon is a little worse because Twitter would be even worse
Oh gosh. Yeah.
with the hate towards those two regions.
Yep.
But yeah,
So
I've always hated Ionia.
how do you feel about Shurima actually having like 4 to 5 top decks right now? Like they have a lot of solid stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I think Shurima is a fun region. I
Yeah.
don't think it's super problematic, but I think that whole package of turn 1 Treasure Seeker, turn 2 Rockhopper, turn 3 Merciless,
Yeah.
4 Sivir, 5 Rune Runner, I think nothing can compete with that. And I think that's
Yeah.
a little bit boring to have that same curve. It's almost like a Bannerman curve.
That's
So I hope that something gets changed there.
that's really smart. I totally agree with what you're saying. I didn't really think of it as like a Bannerman curve, but because it's a little bit fancier, I guess, or a little bit more
Yeah.
things to do. But yeah, it is very similar, and it's currently making the game to me feel like kind of like you can't take a tempo break. Like if you're not playing cards
Yeah.
in a control style deck like Concussive Palm that are giving your unit and stunning an attacker,
hmm
you can't someone was tweeting about like trying to play Heimerdinger. You can't
No.
drop that card right now because you're dead as soon as you drop it.
Yep.
And there's a lot of cards like that are just kind of like not being able to see play because you lose any amount of tempo. The game is so fast right now. Even with Lee Sin, I mean, our combo deck is OTKing you on turn 7 or 8. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's happening
hmm
in turn 7 or 8. So you can't build up past that. Then on top of that, the aggro style decks should be winning even earlier. I mean, like Azir Aurelia still is winning pretty damn early. Like it's a super solid deck still. It feels a lot better. I think they're close,
Yeah.
but
hmm
it's still winning quick. And then, like you said, any of those decks using that package, that Shirima package, is they're putting so much pressure by 5 or 6 that you can't hesitate.
Yep. No, if you miss one beat, they're gonna overrun you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they miss one or two of their cards because then they have Shape Stone is like an insane combat trick. Even Ionia, like the Sivir Z decks that are being played with Twin Disciplines, was a huge buff. I think it's also
That buff
kind of
scares
not
me.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I remember reacting to the patch notes on stream,
Yeah.
and it was Will first, and I was like, oh no. It brought me back instantly to those Karma Ezreal days. I was
Yep.
super excited. Like everything was like, oh my god, Miss Fortune's getting buffed. Oh my god, Tarek buffed.
Yeah.
And
Right.
like, oh god, Will of Ionia. And then I
Yep.
scroll down like, Twin Disciplines.
Dude.
Please don't do this to me.
Yeah, you're
But
not
the
wrong.
fact they have access to that, yeah.
And I feel like which one do you feel like is having more of an effect right now, Will or Twin?
Sorry?
Which between Twin or
Oh,
Will?
Twin.
Yeah,
Yeah, Twin for sure. Yeah.
I've seen it a lot more.
Yeah, me too. Like in
Yeah,
every Ionia deck, I feel like you pretty much have to play it. It's as good as Troll Chant and Sharpside, I think, and that's
yeah,
that's scary for a region like Ionia.
they should not have a combat trick as good as those two regions because Demacia and
I agree.
Freljord are about combat. No, they don't have the control tools. All right, so you know what? To end, we're going a little off Keter here, but to end, let's talk about what first off what we would revert in the patch notes that just happened. I mean, it was the biggest patch ever. It was 47 changes. I always like to say 48 if they would have kept Leona with Overwhelm. Would have loved it.
Oh man,
They didn't.
such a shame.
I was ecstatic. I got like 6 games in though.
Yeah.
As soon as she came out.
Okay, that's something.
I was grinding. I was like, this is amazing. She is crazy. um,
It actually does feel really good to have that, but yeah.
it was great. Yeah, I was just playing Diona, Leona. I wasn't doing anything super unfair. I was playing Targon, so maybe people think that's unfair, but I was having a blast.
Yeah.
So first, what would you revert out of those 47 changes? Then we can just talk about other outside buffs, nerfs that you think might be coming down the pipeline. But realistically, I mean, when's the seasonal? 2 weeks from now? The last Chance
Yeah, I
Gauntlet's
believe
2
so.
weeks from now?
Early. Yeah, I think so.
So we might
Something
not
like
get
that.
anything. We might be on the seasonal meta already. We're not
Yeah.
sure we're gonna get anything. But if you had to revert anything from the patch notes, what would you revert?
I would. Oh, can I pick one?
You can pick
Or-
3 if you want. Yeah,
All right. Thanks to 3 attack again.
bringing him back.
I love Fangs.
I do
It
too.
made deck building so easy, but yeah. Um, I think honestly they buffed Twin Discipline in the wrong way.
Yes,
I think it should
I
have probably
agree.
been like +4 at 3 mana instead of just straight bringing it to 2 mana.
That's interesting. Yeah, give it like the Black Spear treatment almost, but like
Yeah.
reverse. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that would have been a better approach. A third one. I don't think I have one. I think even Will of Ionia, I would say give it 5 mana again because it's gonna be problematic at some point. I'm even fine with Karma at 5 mana.
Yeah, feels fine. Feels
Yeah,
fair.
because turn 10 is like that's a fair turn, I think, to start
Yeah.
doing really stupid things. Um,
I'd probably go for like Sivir at like 33 or something. Maybe
that's a good one actually, yeah.
not 35. I mean, you could go back to 35, but I feel like now it's always a turn earlier. If it's at
Yeah.
like 32, 33, maybe it's like if you're really applying pressure, it's a turn earlier. If you're not, it's happening that same turn that it used to. I feel like that
Yeah.
might be okay.
I agree with that. Yeah, those would be my 3 picks. Sivir, Fangs, and Twin Discipline.
Yeah, Twin Discipline's definitely my number 1 on the hit list. I think after talking with you, just saying comparing it to other, like even like Pale Cascade, right at its height, 2-1
Yeah.
draw a card. That card was amazing, and that's still a really good combat trick. But like Targon had burst speed stuff, like a lot of it, right? They had a lot of good burst speed stuff.
Yep.
Demacia has great combat tricks. Freljord has decent combat tricks with freezes. Ionia doesn't need that.
Yeah, no, I agree. They already have so many ways to impact combat. They don't need another one to keep their units safe.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
And Igaros is saying in chat too, which I agree. Will is not as bad as I thought it would be. I'm with you. I was real nervous about that one coming in.
Yep.
And I ended up hating Twin Disciplines a lot more.
I think Rubens who tweeted out something like that, like people are complaining about Will of Ionia, but not about Twin Discipline. I'm like,
yes,
well,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He was.
I thought that was I was like, yeah, I'm with him. Like that was
Yeah.
my biggest fear, honestly, because Ionia was already so close to being
Yep.
more of a like with elusives especially. That's a scary card.
Great. Yeah. It's just so much protection for 2 mana. 3 health is just
Yep.
crazy. Cancels out so many attacks. I mean, it's bonkers. And then
Yep.
you know what I've been seeing constantly too? The freaking Green Blade, dude, that reduces the cost of something in your deck.
Oh
or in
yeah,
your
the
hand, I mean.
lookout.
That was a good buff.
Yeah.
That buff was nice.
I like that.
But it's
Yeah,
super
that was
frustrating
cool.
with True Discipline because I keep trying to kill him and he gets 3 health.
You can't anymore.
Bastard. Yeah, he's
That little 2/1 grew up.
Yep, he's the man now.
Yeah.
So, anything else outside of the patch notes? We can close on this. Anything else that you think needs to get touched up? I mean, like I'm glad we touched on Lee Sin just because I'm a passionate Lee Sin hater and I feel bad for combo players, but I just getting OTK'd from 20, and like people were saying today, like it's very interactable, dude. It is interactable, but using the word "very" there is not okay with me. There's nothing about
agree.
Lee Sin that is very interactable. He's interactable. He's not very interactable.
I agree. It's also all those tools, the stalling tools in the
Ridiculous.
deck with Lee Sin, and it's like Lee Sin synergize with spells.
Yeah.
So I get that people are saying it's a heavy deck cost.
Yeah.
Heavy deck. Okay, I can't find the word.
Yeah.
But you have to like build your deck in a certain way, and you don't
Yeah.
have to do that as much with Sivir. Even though I think Sivir is like probably the second strongest champion, or Lee Sin,
Yeah.
Sivir seem like the strongest. But the fact that everything just works so well together, especially with Eye of the Dragon in that too, which by the way would be my pick to see a change
Let's go
for
on.
Eye of the Dragon and Rune Runner. I think that deck just works too well together with what Ionia does and how the spells synergize with each other.
Yeah.
And then you inevitably die from. You can have 1 HP, you can have 20 HP. Lee Sin will kill you with 1 kick.
Oh, right. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one screenshot I showed in turn 7, they're like, well, use all his mana. And I'm like, I only had 14 health left anyway because I had 1,000 freaking Eye of the Dragons to deal with. So, like, he only needed 7 attack. He didn't need 14. He didn't need to do 28 to me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not okay.
So what would the changes be? Do you have them for Eye of the Dragon or Rune Runner?
I think Eye of the Dragon should not attune.
I think that's a
First
good
of all.
one. Yeah.
I think it should also maybe be a 1/2. Because it's already so easy, especially now with the Twin Discipline buff to protect it.
Right, if that
I also think-
stays, then it being a 1/2 is not all that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think probably Rune Runner. I think the spell shield first on Sivir and then on Rune Runner is a little bit too much. I also wouldn't mind if like Sivir doesn't get reverted to 35, I wouldn't mind her losing her spell shield on level 1 and then getting it on level 2. I think that would be pretty fair.
Oh, that's
so you can at
interesting, yeah.
least like interact with it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Mm,
Laughing at chat, Igaro says, Eye of the Dragon is just a better Heimerdinger. You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong at all.
those lifesteal turrets are pretty good.
Never thought of it that way, but yep. Yeah, actually, that card is just way better than Heimerdinger.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm on favor, and I'm on favor for some more drastic Lee Sin changes. I'm okay with some. You know, whether it's he has to see them, which is very ironic because he's blind, but if he has to see some spells instead of just being able to level up in deck, or if it's turns that you have to cast 2, like we're having all over to a lot of discussion around it. And I just feel like push his level up back like a turn or 2, or make you work for it just a little bit more. And I feel like I'd be mostly okay with it. It's still combo-y. It's just that, yeah. And then, but you might just be right. Like, just hit Eye of the Dragon, and then the deck's slightly weaker to heavier pushes earlier. Does that put us where we need to be? It might be.
Yeah, I still think Lee Sin does need to go as well. I just think Eye of the Dragon has been too much of a staple in those type of Ionia control decks.
Yep.
And it's super hard to push past that wall, especially with like the moon weapons now. If you go Targon Lee, it's too consistent. But I think Lee Sin needs a heavy nerf or a rework. I think the OTK is just toxic for the health of the game.
So I'm with you, but we're gonna rile some feathers, you and I.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't want this to be like one big circle jerk or something because we agree on a lot of the same points.
We are,
but
yeah. I kind of had a
sometimes.
feeling. I mean, I've seen like most of the decks you've made. I'm like, all right, this guy just makes stuff that speaks to my heart right now.
That's why I'm here, I guess.
I mean, it's great. I mean, we're definitely feeling the same type of gameplay, and it's not so many people like to play different style games, and I'm not trying to put you in a box either. Like you've played stuff across the board for control, from mid range, everything, and I've got a lot of comments like, "Oh, you just want to play mid range." I'm like, no, I just don't want to die from 20 health in 1 attack. That's all, guys.
That's all I'm asking for. Yeah.
That's
please
it.
no Watcher. Please no Lee Sin, and keep Karma in check a little bit, but he's probably fine.
Probably fine. I agree. So I mean, you gotta tell us where we can find you guys. I mean, I'm following all of your channels already, but for anyone who doesn't already follow Sunny on Twitter and YouTube, can you just tell them where to find you?
Yeah, it's SNNUY, so Snui on both YouTube and Twitch, and I'm Snui LOR on Twitter.
Beautiful. So I'll have all those links in the description below, guys. Highly, highly suggest. I haven't caught one of your streams. Now, I feel like it might be a time zone thing. So now you're in Dutch, and I'm far away. I'm probably working during when you're streaming. Do you have a normal stream schedule or no?
It's I stream every day except Monday and Wednesday from 1 p.m. Central European time until 5. So that's like 7
a.m.
Eastern.
for me, right? 7 a.m.
Yeah, 7 a.m.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, well, I'll catch one. I haven't got those. I watch most of your YouTube videos. But yeah, definitely check those out. Can highly, highly suggest the YouTube videos for sure. And it's not just gameplay. I mean, you can, if you want, real quick. What is your YouTube really highlighting? I've seen the region identity videos, the gameplay videos. But if you want to show that off real quick.
Yeah, I mostly do gameplay videos, and then for most videos, I try to make like a visual guide at the start. I know a lot of people open their decks and talk about it. I try to go a little beyond it. Like, that's not hating on anyone, by the way.
Right.
And like a lot of time goes into it. I like doing it a little more visual. And then from time to time, I make like these region identity videos where I just talk about a region, what they're good at, what they're bad at.
Yep.
For example, I did Bilgewater about their high risk, high reward gameplay. And those videos take a lot of work, a lot of editing. They usually take me a few weeks to make, so they don't come out very often. But when they do, it's definitely the thing I'm the most proud of.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it, man. Definitely have you back sometime. Sorry it was just me. You got stuck with just me this week. We got some busy...
It's the Twin Sons, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, Sunny...
Prophecy has been fulfilled.
It's perfect. Well, make sure to check them out, guys, on some other platform as well as back here on the show at some point for sure. So until next time, deuces.
Thanks so much for having me.
No problem.